Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked away from a conversation or ended a relationship and felt completely exhausted? I'm not talking about normal stress. I mean that deep, bone-tired emotional drain, where you feel like your soul itself has been wrung out. Everything seemed fine at first. They were charming, magnetic, maybe even irresistible. But over time, they began pulling from you, slowly, subtly, almost like you didn't notice it happening, until it was too late. And suddenly, you're left feeling emotionally empty. Here's the truth no one wants to admit. Some people are naturally more emotionally draining than others. Not because they're bad, but because of how they're wired. And when we look at the zodiac, there are certain signs known for this emotional pull. Today, we're revealing the 3 zodiac signs that have the power to drain you emotionally, even if they don't mean to. These signs can charm you, lure you in, and before you know it, you're tangled in their emotional web. Some do it subtly, some do it with intensity, but all of them can leave you feeling completely drained. So stay with me. Because as we go through this list, you might just realize, someone in your life has been draining you all along. Let's begin. Number 3, Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. First up, Cancer. Yes, Cancer, the sensitive, nurturing, deeply emotional water sign. At first glance, Cancer seems like the last person who would drain you. They're caring, protective, and often the ones who offer a shoulder to cry on. But here's the twist. Cancer feels everything, deeply. They don't just experience their own emotions, they absorb everyone else's too. And when they get attached to someone, they form intense emotional bonds that are hard to break. But here's where it gets draining. Cancer can quickly become emotionally dependent without realizing it. They may lean on you constantly, seeking reassurance, attention, or emotional comfort. They don't always intend to do it, but it happens. At first it feels flattering, you're their safe space, their rock, but over time, you may start to feel like you're carrying both your emotions and theirs, and the more you give, the more they seem to need. Their mood swings can be extreme, going from warm and nurturing to distant and cold within minutes. And when they get hurt, which happens often, they retreat into their shell, leaving you feeling like you're the one who did something wrong. It's confusing, it's draining, and it happens slowly, subtly, until one day you realize you're emotionally exhausted, and they don't even realize they caused it. Number 2, Pisces, covering February 19th through March 20th. Next up we have Pisces. Oh yes, Pisces, the dreamer, the empath, the hopeless romantic. Pisces are known for their deep sensitivity and compassion. They're the ones who seem to understand you on like a soul level. But here's what most people don't see at first. Pisces can be emotionally overwhelming. They often live in their own world, a world full of fantasies, fears, dreams, and emotional waves that crash without warning. They may pour their heart out to you one minute and vanish into emotional distance the next. It's not because they're cruel, it's because they struggle to manage their own emotions. And if you're close to a Pisces, here's what usually happens. You become their emotional anchor. You're the one who has to ground them when they spiral. The one who has to remind them to face reality. The one who absorbs their sadness, their anxieties, their endless what-ifs. At first it feels beautiful. You feel needed, connected. But slowly, it begins to drain you. You find yourself constantly comforting them, calming them down, helping them escape their self-made storms. And the hardest part? Pisces often doesn't realize they're doing it. They're not trying to manipulate, they're simply drowning and clinging to you for safety. But if you're not careful, they'll pull you under with them. Number 1, Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st. And finally, the sign most notorious for emotional intensity, Scorpio. Scorpios don't just feel emotions, they live in them. They are magnetic, mysterious, impossible to ignore. At first, being close to a Scorpio feels like electricity. They draw you in with their depth, their passion, their unwavering focus. But here's the catch. Scorpio doesn't love lightly. They are all or nothing. Once they connect with you, it's deep, powerful, and often overwhelming. Their emotional world is complex, filled with secrets, desires, fears, and shadows. If you become close to a Scorpio, whether as a friend, partner, or even co-worker, you'll quickly realize they expect everything from you. They don't just want surface-level connection. They want your secrets, your loyalty, your soul. And if you try to pull back, they'll notice immediately. Here's what makes it draining. Scorpio's intensity can really consume you. Their moods shift fast. Obsession, jealousy, passion, rage, all cycling like a storm you just can't escape. They'll test you, push your buttons, and then, they'll pull you back in, only to push you away again. And before you even realize it, you're caught in a cycle that leaves you emotionally drained, yet somehow addicted to their energy at the same time. Because Scorpio knows exactly how to make you need them, even when they're the very thing that's draining you. So, there you have it. The 3 zodiac signs most likely to drain you emotionally: Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Each of them operates a little differently. Cancer clings through comfort and attachment, Pisces overwhelms through emotional chaos and neediness, and Scorpio consumes through intensity, control, and power. But here's the thing no one tells you. They don't mean to do it. These signs are simply wired to feel everything. Deeply. Constantly. They aren't villains. They're just sensitive souls trying to survive in a harsh world. But if you're close to one of them, you must set boundaries, not to punish them, but to protect yourself. Because the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. Now here's something important. If you're dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio and you don't want to cut them off completely, there are ways to protect your energy. Here are 3 quick tips. Set emotional limits. It's okay to say, I can't hold this for you right now. You don't have to solve their every problem. Don't mirror their moods. Stay grounded in your own emotional state. Don't get sucked into their emotional roller coaster. Encourage their independence. Help them find tools to manage their feelings without leaning on you 24/7, whether that's therapy, journaling, or hobbies that soothe them. Remember, protecting your peace doesn't make you selfish. It makes you strong. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio who left you drained? Or maybe, you are one of these signs, and you're starting to realize how your emotions affect others. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing your stories. And hey, if this video opened your eyes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell for more deep dives like this. Until next time, protect your energy. Love yourself first, and never be afraid to walk away from what drains you. What if I told you that 3 zodiac signs carry an emotional gravity so strong, they never truly let you go? They don't just leave scars. They burn memories into your soul. They alter how you love forever. Sounds dramatic? It is. But it's also scientifically and astrologically valid. Today, we're uncovering the top 3 zodiac signs that imprint themselves on your heart so deeply, you can't fully move on, no matter how many years pass, no matter how many new loves arrive, no matter how strong you think you are. Once you've loved one of these 3 signs, they stay, they linger, they echo, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why. Because this isn't about heartbreak, it's about emotional legacies you didn't ask for. But that changed you forever. Let's dive in. Scorpio, the zodiac's emotional black hole, a sign whose depth is both alluring and intimidating. Their presence is magnetic, drawing you in with a force that feels almost otherworldly. When they love, you aren't just a partner. You become part of their soul's architecture, woven into the very fabric of their being. It's a connection that feels fated, almost cosmic in its intensity. According to astrologers across the board, Scorpio is the hardest sign to get over. Their impact lingers long after the relationship ends, haunting your memories. Their intensity isn't casual, it's elemental, like fire or water, shaping everything it touches. They feel with seismic force, every emotion amplified, every joy and heartbreak echoing through your life. Betrayal from Scorpio cuts like a fault line, splitting your world in two and leaving aftershocks that last for years. But worse, they never fully release your imprint. You remain a part of their story just as they remain in yours. They hold on to those feelings and so do you. The connection is never truly severed, no matter how much time passes. It starts with a shared laugh, a spark that ignites something deep and unforgettable. It ends with a fight over nothing. Yet both moments feel extraordinary, charged with meaning and impossible to forget. Your memories with them aren't fleeting. They frame how you love anyone else, setting a standard that's hard to match. Think you've moved on, until a song, a scent, or a stray message drags you back into that Scorpio moment. Their emotional geography lingers, mapping itself onto your heart. And it's not just nostalgia, it's a living, breathing presence that colors your world. It's a gravitational pull that warps your universe, forever altering the way you experience love and loss. Then there's Taurus, earthbound, rooted, immovable. They are the anchor in the storm, the steady ground beneath your feet when everything else feels uncertain. Taurus is the sign that brings a sense of calm and reliability, always present, always dependable. Taurus builds not just relationships but foundations, trust, ritual, comfort. They create a world where you feel safe, where every day is woven with small acts of care and devotion. They don't just enter your life, they take part in your daily landscape, becoming part of your habits, your routines, your sense of home. Forget fireworks. Taurus love is steady, sensual, consistent. It's the warmth you count on, the gentle touch that never wavers, the comfort that lingers. But when that steady becomes steady absence, everything feels like a rift, a quiet ache that seeps into the everyday. According to astrology experts, Taurus consistently ranks among the most difficult signs to forget. Their presence lingers, haunting the spaces they once filled. And it's no surprise, because their love imprints in very practical ways. Warm blankets, shared routines, morning coffee on the same side of the bed, laughter echoing in the kitchen. But when it's gone, those routines are empty shells, reminders of what once was, now hollow and silent. The comfort is gone too, replaced by a quiet longing that settles in the corners of your home. You don't even realize what's missing, until the pillow feels off, the breakfast tastes stale, and your world feels small without that Taurus presence beside you. Their departure isn't dramatic, it's quiet. But the echo, deafening, lingering in every silent room and every memory you revisit. So what actually connects Scorpio's imprint, Taurus's foundation, and Cancer's emotional archive? Well, they don't just love often, they love deeply across all these different dimensions of emotion. Scorpio, for example, imprints energy on every level, mental, emotional, physical. Taurus, on the other hand, anchors love in routine, comfort, and physical stability. And Cancer? Cancer holds on to memory and vulnerability like, honestly, a fortress. These aren't just people you meet. They're experiences you become part of, transformatively. You know, psychological studies confirm that high-intensity emotional experiences can actually change your brain wiring, especially if they happen during periods of vulnerability. And these signs, they really turbocharge that intensity, creating permanent neural pathways associated with them. So, that means you don't just remember them, you remember more because of them. Here are some signs that one of these signs still has emotional resonance in your heart. Maybe you find yourself rereading old messages, or certain places just make your heart ache, like your favorite coffee shop, the beach, or those late-night walks. You might even build new relationships based on how they felt. Legs crossed like Taurus, intensity like Scorpio, nostalgia like Cancer. Sometimes deep compassion with new partners just goes sideways because you expect them to understand you like they did. Those are emotional breadcrumbs that tell you, pretty clearly, the past is still living in your present. It won't be easy, but these practices can help you step out of their shadow and begin to heal. First, write to them, unsent. Let your words flow freely, without worrying about how they might react or respond. Journal everything you never said, including love, anger, forgiveness, and even the things you wish you could have changed. This is your space to be honest and raw. Just say it privately, without expectation or fear of judgment. Speaking your truth out loud, even to an empty room, can be surprisingly powerful. Next, create a new anchor. Develop rituals without them, small acts that remind you of your own presence and strength. Join a class, paint, run, meditate, anything that fills the emotional hole left by their routines. Explore new interests and let yourself be curious about what brings you joy now. Then, set emotional distance. You don't have to go no contact, but it's important to reassess what triggers show them power over you. Notice which interactions or reminders pull you back emotionally. It could be late-night scrolling, photos, shared places, so limit your exposure. Anchor in new comforts and let go of what keeps you stuck in the past. Replace routines like weekly check-ins or joint Netflix nights with something completely yours. Mini travels, workshops, hobbies, or quiet moments of self-discovery. And if you can't shake the memories, consider professional support. There's no shame in reaching out for help when you need it. An astrologer or therapist can guide you through intentional eclipse rituals, both psychological and cosmic, helping you process and release what no longer serves you. You can reclaim your emotional space, bit by bit, with patience and self-compassion until you feel whole again. So now you know, Scorpio, Taurus, Cancer, the emotional trinity you just can't easily forget. But tomorrow we ask a new question: which 3 zodiac signs you will forget, and how quickly? Go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell, because whether love sticks or slips away, it's always written in the stars. Thank you for diving into the cosmic depths with me. If this resonated, leave a comment with your story. You might just free someone else who's stuck in that emotional echo. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a relationship where everything seemed perfect? The connection was strong, the sparks were flying, it felt like forever. And then, suddenly, they pulled away. No warning, no fight, just distance. One minute, they're all in. The next, they're gone, emotionally or physically. It's confusing, right? But here's what most people don't realize. Some people aren't wired for consistency in love. Some people crave excitement, unpredictability, constant stimulation, and once that thrill fades, so do they. And often, it has nothing to do with you. It's simply in their stars. Tonight, we're diving into the zodiac signs that get bored fast in relationships. These are the signs who start off passionate, fiery, obsessed, but before long, they're itching for freedom again. And if you've ever found yourself chasing someone who seemed to just lose interest overnight, you might find your answer right here. Let's begin. Number 5, Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. The twins of the zodiac, always full of surprises and contradictions. First on our list, Gemini. Oh, Gemini, they're exciting, charming, the life of every party and impossible to ignore when they walk into a room, endlessly fun to be around. Their energy is infectious, and you'll never have a dull moment with them. At the beginning of a relationship, they're magnetic. They'll text you non-stop, making you feel like you're the only person in their world. Call at midnight just to hear your voice. They'll want to know every detail about your day and share their wildest thoughts with you. Sweep you off your feet with spontaneous adventures. With Gemini, every day feels like a new chapter in an unpredictable story. But here's the part no one tells you. Gemini gets bored easily, very easily. Their attention can shift in the blink of an eye. Their mind moves at a mile a minute, always searching for the next spark, the next thrill. They need constant stimulation, mentally, emotionally, physically. If things slow down, they start to feel restless. And once the routine sets in, when every day starts to look the same, their spirit begins to wander. Once the conversations start feeling predictable, when the excitement fades, so does their focus on you. Once they've figured you out, they start to drift. Their curiosity pulls them elsewhere, even if they don't want it to. Not because they don't care, not because they're heartless, it's just how they're wired. It's just their curiosity fades. The magic that once drew them in starts to disappear, and they're already on to the next thing, chasing a new idea, a new adventure, or a new connection. Trying to hold on to a bored Gemini is like chasing the wind. The harder you try, the further they drift. They'll smile, they'll charm you, they'll act like everything's fine, but deep down, they're gone, already dreaming of what's next. Number 2, Sagittarius, from November 22nd to December 21st. This is the sign of the archer, the one who's always aiming for something just out of reach, always searching for the next horizon. Now we're getting into serious territory. Sagittarius isn't just a sign, it's a whole adventure. They're driven by a deep need to explore, to understand, to experience life in all its colors. If there's one zodiac sign that defines freedom, it's them. Sagittarius loves passionately, with a fire that's hard to match. Their energy is magnetic and their optimism is contagious. They'll sweep you off your feet, take you on wild adventures, open your world to new possibilities and make you feel truly alive. With them, every day feels like a new chapter. But you know, they're not designed for stillness. They need change. They crave new experiences, new faces, new places. Routine is their enemy. They fear anything that feels like being trapped. The idea of being boxed in, of losing their freedom, is their biggest nightmare. In the beginning, it's magical. Everything is exciting, spontaneous, and full of laughter. You'll feel like they've chosen you to be their partner in crime, their fellow explorer, their co-conspirator in chasing the unknown. But once things settle down, when the thrill fades and life gets a little too predictable, once the relationship starts to feel like, well, a relationship, when the day-to-day sets in and the spark of adventure dims, that's when they start to itch for an exit. They'll ghost, they'll pull away emotionally, searching for that next big thrill. They'll suddenly be too busy. And the worst part, you might not even see it coming. They won't even see it as abandoning you. To them, it's just the natural next step. In their mind, they're just following their truth, honoring their need for growth and movement. Because for Sagittarius, boredom is the end of everything. They'd rather chase the unknown than settle for comfort. And finally, the zodiac sign most notorious for getting bored in relationships. The one that's almost impossible to pin down. Aquarius. Aquarius is unlike any other sign. Truly one of a kind in the zodiac. They march to the beat of their own drum. Quirky, intellectual, emotionally detached, and always a little unpredictable. In love, they're fascinating, electric, exciting. Being with an Aquarius can feel like a thrilling adventure. But here's the cold truth. Aquarius needs space. Lots of it. More than any other sign, they crave independence and time alone to recharge. If they feel like they're losing their freedom, emotionally or physically, they'll start pulling away almost without warning. Slowly, subtly, almost like they're fading. They'll still smile, still show up, but something shifts. They'll still say, "I love you." They'll still be kind, but their heart is already drifting. But inside, they're already gone. Lost in their own world of thoughts and dreams. They get bored in relationships when things feel too predictable, when every day starts to look the same, too routine, too expected. They need mental stimulation, deep conversations, endless curiosity, and a partner who can keep up with their ideas. And if you can't keep up with their ever-evolving mind, they'll drift, quietly, and without drama. Aquarius won't necessarily leave immediately, but you'll feel it. The growing distance, the chill in the air, the distance, the coldness, the sense that you're suddenly on the outside looking in, the emotional wall you can't climb, and when they're done, they're done. No second chances, no grand exits, just silence, and a memory of what once was. So there you have it, the 5 zodiac signs that get bored fastest in relationships. Gemini, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Each one has their own reasons. Some crave adventure, some need passion, some are terrified of losing their freedom, and some simply detach. But here's the thing nobody tells you. It's not about you, it's about them and how they're wired. You could be perfect, you could do everything right. But for these signs, if they're bored, they'll leave anyway. Or worse, they'll stay physically but vanish emotionally. Now before you panic, let me be clear. Not every Gemini or Aries or Aquarius is doomed to get bored. But if you're dating one of these signs or are one yourself, here's the secret. Keep it fresh. Keep it unexpected. Never stop growing together. These signs need adventure and stimulation. Not just physically but mentally and emotionally too. Surprise them. Challenge them. Show them something they haven't seen before. Because while these signs may get bored easily, if you can keep their mind engaged and their heart racing, they'll stay. And trust me, when they choose to stay, they're some of the most loyal, passionate partners you'll ever have.